All right, welcome in everybody to the Can We Kick It podcast. I'm your co-host Mike, along with Chuck here.
What up?
How's it going, Chuck?
It's good, man.
Good.
How you doing?
Man, I'm tired, but I'm ready to bang this out. I'm really looking forward to this week's episode of The Last of Us.
Yeah, cousin, same.
Yeah,
cousin,
cousin. God, I love
cousin. Yeah, it's a cousin.
Dude, he's a great actor. I like the guy that plays their cousin. Yeah.
So everything's going good, man.
Good,
man. Busy week. What about you?
Yeah, busy week. Yeah, I had to deal with some family health issues, but back on the track and back at work. So,
is everybody okay?
Yeah. Everybody's good for now. Some more stuff to go through, but the initial shock is over. So, yeah. But
we'll keep you in our thoughts.
Appreciate
our tots and pairs.
Our tots and pairs. Yeah. I do appreciate that.
I did quit Twitter on Wednesday for Lent, and so I've lost all ability to like trash talk people.
Oh yeah.
I can't play a troll.
I kid you not. Jackie and I finished season 7 of Below Deck on Peacock, and it's my guilty pleasure because I just get riled up by the drama. It was like 3 years ago, and I never wanted to get on Twitter and Reddit and trash somebody so bad, and it'd be 3 years behind. And I guarantee you 99% of the people out there would back me up. Like, blood was roiling before starting this podcast. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Is it 7 the last season? How many seasons of Below Deck is there?
They're I think they're midway through season 10.
Wow.
So they've gone 10 years.
The Walking Dead.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And there's already 3 other like branch off type style seasons. So yeah, it's been a rough road. Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. But yeah, man.
What else you been watching?
Dude, NASCAR season's back. I watch a little NASCAR here and there.
Yeah.
Daytona 500 was on Sunday. Great race. I hate Kyle Busch. A lot of people probably don't know who that is. He's like the ass of the sport. He didn't win, thank God. But it was a cool event. A lot of famous people there. It's the biggest race of the sport. So it's a fun watch every year in February. But been watching that. Caught up on The Rookie, which is Nathan Fillion. Funny stuff. What else? Shrinking. Other than that,
I heard Freddie Spaghetti. Travis Pastrami.
Travis Pastrami.
Yeah. Who was like a BMX, not BMX, something where you ride a bike, and X Games person finished 11th in the Daytona 500.
Oh yeah. So only because it was like a major crash, like the third to last lap that wiped out like 15 cars.
That's what I apparently it was in last, right? And then it wiped out. So I was like sending shit talking texts to my uncle who's a big NASCAR fan. Is like, this guy that like just like rides a bike, a cyclist, finished 11th, and he's like, he wasn't a cyclist, and he ran a steady race and he avoided the accidents. I was like, isn't that like how the Ricky Bobby story started? Like, I think next week maybe I'll get in one of the cars. And he's like, you can do it. You can't like watch TV and like play on your phone and do all this while you're driving in the NASCAR race. I'm like, well, don't that cars all go the same speed? I'm sure I could handle it. I do it in Houston.
Yeah, it's like Nelly Bertram. It's the one time I was quickly became a Formula One driver. 3 slowest laps in the history.
I think I go really fast. Oh yeah, because when I was in Birmingham on Monday, I had a Tesla.
Nice.
And you had the Tesla when we went to your stag party or whatever, bachelor party, and literally I was getting on, I think like I-65 or something in Birmingham, and I kid you not, I was up to like 105 seemingly about 5 seconds, like getting on the freeway and just blowing the doors off of people. Like, it was one of the raddest things I've ever been. I could imagine doing like the plaid one that you talked about, but
you get your pants on that one, dude. Yeah, Yeah, I know you texted me. You're like, I don't know how you went back to driving a nonsense. It was so hard, dude.
Did
It's
you
an
have the
amazing car.
regenerative braking on, like, on when
Yeah,
you did that? Yeah. So like you just take your foot off the gas and it like comes to a complete stop,
yeah.
and like you sit at the light with your foot off the brake, and like at least the one I had, then the light turned green and it dinged. So like you could just be doing whatever. And it's like ding, all right, I'm going.
It's
It's
amazing.
just yeah.
Yeah, the one we took to New Orleans had autopilot, so you just click it on, dude, and we were just chilling. Like,
Yeah.
they're
I think
so ahead of the game.
I couldn't figure it out on there, so maybe mine didn't have it, but
Maybe not. Yeah.
um I did say autopilot beta on there. I just couldn't figure after, like, on the way home, like when I was at the airport, I was reading and I think I had figured it out, but
Yeah.
it was a little too late. So
Did you run through like Hertz or did you go through like Turo, like an app?
Hertz.
Nice, nice.
It was the cheapest car at Hertz in Birmingham, Alabama.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And
It
you
was
were there
like
for the Sunbelt Track and Field Championship, right?
I was the Sun Belt Conference Indoor Track and Field Championships. So I watched Dylan, did well, had fun. Um, so it was a good time. I really like it's kind of like, you talk about y'all are a big NASCAR family, and um I used to never really watch track and field, like, because I didn't in junior high and high school. I ran a little bit because I was fast when I was younger and they would want me to run, so I'd run some races. And then I just didn't like it. And then ever since Dylan's been involved, like I stayed there, and you know, I worked from the event center and just watched like all the all the events, and I watched some Tuesday a little bit. And then when I got home, was watching on my laptop. I was working in the afternoon. Well, and Dylan's roommate is the first in the high jump, and I think is going to nationals. So,
Wow,
but yeah, so like I watched him jump on Tuesday. So,
crazy.
um, yeah, it was fun. But I enjoy now that I like running, and I run and Dylan the pole vaulting, and um, so now I watch it
Nice.
like more than I ever would have in the past, but enjoy it. So,
That's cool.
but yeah, and then since I've been back, I've been watching a lot of TV shows. I was building a fishing rod. So I used to have a side business where I build fishing rods, and I do it occasionally for like charity stuff and like silent auctions and different things. So I was building a rod for a thing on Sunday, and I was doing that like 5-6 hours last night. So it's
Nice.
just running through. That's why I watch so much TV. So is
Yeah.
that watch like the 5 episodes of The Bear, Cousin,
So good.
Yes Chef, Yes Chef. Really good. I love that actor, like from Shameless. I forget his name, but
Yeah.
it's really good. I'm glad we did the swap, and I started watching. Plus, it's like 30-minute episodes, so it's pretty
Yeah.
easy to burn through. So,
Yeah, they're
and
quick
then
burns. I like the first episode where he has like that gaming competition and the
yeah,
line gets out of hand and Cousin just comes out with his fucking Glock. Just what? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's yeah, it's really good. And watch Shrinking. I don't know what to say about Shrinking.
Yeah. I enjoy watching it
It
in the moment.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't anticipate watching it.
yeah. I forget that it's on or that I'm watching it, but I enjoy the episode.
Yeah.
It's just not anything to talk about. I think that's
No,
what even it is. We're gonna watch Ted Lasso, but it's almost hard to talk about that as episode by episode, right?
yeah.
So we just probably. I mean, we'll have so much going on during Ted Lasso with Mandalorian
Oh yeah.
what's the other Succession that we probably
Yeah.
are going to break it down by episode. So we'll give a little recap or something, but
For sure. It's
um
not a heavy hitter, so there's not a lot of depth to it.
yeah.
We could just probably quote some of the funniest lines and shit like that we hear. But yeah, I'm with you. Succession and Mandalorian are going to take up most of the bandwidth.
Well, and then I watched. I didn't even see anything advertisement for this, but I started watching it. It was called Hello Tomorrow.
Hmm.
on Apple TV, and it's interesting. I don't know if it's good or bad. Um, there's 3 episodes out. I think they also get released on Friday, so it is interesting. But it's like if the 50s were set in the future, like the style of cars and the style of that. And it's like the general synopsis is Billy Crudup, his character is selling real estate on the moon, and like there's you don't I think the basic thing is like, is he full of shit? But there's like really lunar launches and there's all this stuff. But it seems to me the way it's going through the first 3 episodes is that like it's his con
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and there's a whole bunch of details, but it's interesting. I don't know if it's good. Um,
I saw the trailer for it because I was like, oh, okay, Billy Cudrup, like sci-fi, like 50s alternate history to some
yeah,
degree.
yeah.
And I just wasn't, raptured by it. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a watch, but it
You're
just
gonna,
slowly like was moving down my list.
yeah. I it wasn't even on my radar. Hey, have you ever gone to Disney World in Florida?
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah.
So there's a ride there like called Futureland, and it's kind of like it's like Walt Disney's World, like almost like their version of that. But
Yeah.
so far through for 3 episodes, the people they've been signing up haven't left the earth yet. The launches keep getting delayed. So
Hmm. Does it has Hank
uh
Azaria in it though, right?
yes. So that's
Yeah.
the other person that he's because he's betting on the sport, like, which is like baseball, but I don't
Yeah.
think they call it baseball. And it's like I used to play right zone or whatever. It's weird, but
Yeah.
like he's betting and he always loses, and he talks like he doesn't Brockmeyer, but like less funny. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Hank Azaria's voice, but
Yeah.
he has less funny lines. But he's like he's the one that says funny stuff, but it's not that funny,
Yeah.
which is kind of
Yeah.
a shame because usually when Hank Azaria says something, but it's in that same smart ass like tone.
Yeah.
But the writing hasn't been that great for me. But yeah, I'll keep watching it.
Not surprised. Yeah.
It's on my radar.
I'll get
So,
caught up and yeah, I'll we'll talk about it for sure.
and then part of my other Lent thing is I'm reading 30 minutes a day. So I'm like almost like 150 pages into The World Without Us. So I
Nice.
should be able to give that to you soon
Excellent.
to read. So,
Nice.
but then I'll have to look for more. Oh, that should give me ample time to read the 1,200 pages of The Rise and
Oh,
Fall of the Third Reich after
yeah.
this.
After your trip to Europe, yeah, you got to get some background on that because that 1,200
Yeah.
pages is probably gonna be a nice slow burn.
Yeah. Good, nice, light reading.
Yeah, yeah.
So, The Last of Us.
Yes. This was
So,
episode 6, I believe, that we watched.
yeah, episode 6 out of 9. So, only
Yep.
3 more left.
Yep.
And I just watched this today. We're recording on Thursday. No, like, it took me so long just because I was watching all the other stuff and I really wanted to sit down and watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, give us a recap of the episode.
Yeah, episode 6. This was on February 19th. Episode was titled Kin. But it picks up like 3 months after they have left Sam and his and Henry's deaths
Henry.
right at the motel. And they're now making their way up into the Midwest where it's snowing, and they come upon like a cabin where a husband and wife have lived off the grid for some time, kind of like Bill and Frank.
Yeah.
Because he jokes about like leaving before like he was born, like living up there
Oh
since
yeah.
before he was born. um, and he like is coming back from hunting, and Joel and Ellie are already in the cabin, and his wife like makes him soup, and the husband's like, "Why didn't you shoot him?" And she's like, "The gun was all the way over there. I
Yeah.
don't know." Yeah.
And gun was over there.
Yeah.
That became my new favorite couple instantly. They were hilarious. It was just like she was like, he dragged me out here, or he's like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. She's like, it's your fault we're out here, so I'm just gonna do what I can. Yeah.
And they're like, what did show us on the map where we're at? And he's like, how do you have a map and not know where you're at? And then he's like, tell us or we'll kill you. And we already know, we know what your wife said. And he's like, did you tell him the truth or did you lie? And
Yeah.
yeah,
She's like, I told the truth. And he's like, are you telling me the truth?
yeah, 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 yeah. That was good. That was a good, and that it was interesting to see because you think people out in the wilderness would probably be less affected, or at least like in the lesser populated areas would be
Right.
lesser affected, obviously. And you see from Bill and Frank out in the woods 10 miles outside of Boston, and and then now, this couple, and as we go through the thing where everybody in Wyoming, um so
Yeah, they kind of point him in the right direction, right? And they tell
yeah,
him like be wary of the river because it's the river of
yeah,
death or whatever and all.
don't go
Ooh,
west of
ominous.
the river of
Yeah.
the death, river of death.
Yeah. And so they trek out and I think it takes them like a couple of days to make it, because they camp a couple of times. Um
Yeah, they camp and they start talking about, um or when they're leaving there, and Joel kind of like has a panic attack or some kind of
yeah.
heart issue, and you see he seems to stress or whatever is getting to him.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think it was the first night they start talking about they're camping out about what she read in the Federal School about astronauts, and then uh and it's like she's like they were what John Glenn, Neil Armstrong, I forget the other one, and
Jim
then she's like,
Lovell. Yeah.
yeah, the level, yeah, and this, she's like, but my favorite was, and he goes, Sally Ride. She goes, Sally fucking Ride. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes,
What kind of
that's like
fucking name is that? Yeah.
the best astronaut's name ever.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So funny.
And they start talking left wing gibberish about the vaccine. No,
Yeah, right. Yeah. God, you remember when
it's
they made us take these COVID vaccines? Yeah.
yeah. Now they would be like, it'd be funny, like if this happened in the US, it'd be like, that fungus thing ain't real. Like I'm not gonna take no vaccine. And
Right.
then even as they're getting eat by mushrooms, saying like this is all part of the global elite distraction from what's really going on.
It's
It's like,
CGI.
yeah.
Like on Avenue 5.
Yeah.
They're not dead. That's just CGI.
Yeah.
That's fake news. They stepped out of the airlock.
It's Sarah, yeah, and the Sarah goes out there.
So good. Oh,
Oh, that's
God.
great. Yeah, everybody keeps going out there.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Yeah, so Last of Us, right? They spend some time together, and as you can see, the relationship is deepening, and Joel is becoming more and more anxious, really, about he's growing closer to Ellie, and so the more like they are in danger, the more he worries, and like you can see he has
Mm,
panic attacks and shit like that. So they finally make it across the river, and of course they get ambushed basically by some guys on some horses, and they're getting tested to see whether or not they have the fungus. And Joel's freaking out because he doesn't know if the dog is gonna like bark at Ellie. And as you can see, it's kind of kind of had the same like moment as when his
yeah.
daughter got shot, and then when the Fedra guy almost shot Ellie. So um, he's starting to care.
Yeah. Yeah. And apparently Ellie has the power to tame like drug virus sniffing dogs and make hey puppy puppy.
That's a side effect of the fungus.
Yeah. The dog's like, I don't want to get near her. The dog's like, I think the dog smelled her, like she's infected, but she's like not close to, oh my god, like what's her, like, all right, pet me. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I surrender.
yeah.
Um,
Well, and when they went across that bridge, they're like out in the open. I know it's not populated, and they're going across the bridge, and I'm like, I thought something was going to pop off while they're on the bridge,
yeah,
but like as you see, they're probably been scouting them for a while because they come
yeah,
from the top of the hill with their horses. So, you know,
Yeah.
It just reminds me of like every old West movie where they're like going, or even Star Wars, they're going through like a valley and there's like hills all the side of the trail, and it's like, oh wait, look up, there's like Indians or rebels, or there's always something
Yeah.
like in a high position waiting to get you.
Yeah, it's what I don't understand. I think I bring it up every episode I watch is like they literally just walk out into the open or walk across a bridge. And it's like, no, you go further downriver and you find a shallow spot and you walk
Yeah,
across. You don't just walk out into the open. I don't know. It drives me
and
crazy, but
always trying to whistle and like yelling, and like it's like, all right, and they're gonna really find you. But as
all I
we
can think is
see,
somebody's gonna frag her ass.
yeah, which they mention that they're looking for his
Tommy.
brother
Yeah.
Tommy,
Yeah.
and next thing you see him all riding back to town on the horse, and Ellie's on her own. I don't know, like, did the bunch of the dudes start doubling up, like, because Ellie and Joel
Yeah.
have their own horse?
Jackie said the same thing. She was like, I guess they just had two extra horses because they knew they were gonna like these two uninfected people. What the yeah, dude, same thing. But I was right. They Vancouver passing as or Calgary passing as Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Cha-ching.
J hole,
J-hole, baby.
as soon as like I'm like, damn, they have the sign up. This is like Jackson Hole, and I'm like,
Yeah.
J hole. I was like, and we see them enter. Nice little. It's like almost like a fort from the
Yeah, old
1800s.
West days. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was cool. And we see Tommy. He's like doing repairs to, or constructing a hanging post or whatever. Yeah. You do a pretty good impersonation of
Fixing the gallows.
yeah, the gallows.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch us on YouTube, you can see Mike does a better hanging dead person than
Yeah,
me. So
it's all in the neck and the rock.
yeah. I do a good like freeze out there like
Yeah. Chuck's just floating away into space, people. Yeah. Oh
uh
god. Yeah, so
but
they like reunite, right? And it's like
yeah.
the far away like Tommy, and he's like Joel, and they're like,
Yeah.
I was waiting for them to like run at each other, but they didn't. But
Yeah.
had a nice embrace. Then they got some food, and of course Ellie's like, "Fuck, are you looking at, kid?" Like
Yeah.
to some chick, and
Well,
Joel's like trying to teach her manners.
Ellie's like, she's like just like feral, you know, human being. She's getting worse and worse as like the
Yeah,
whole season.
right.
Um,
That's the same word that
but
popped in my brain was feral. She's just feral,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
because even like when they basically take um, we see Tommy is actually married and having a kid with
Yep.
the one of
Maria.
the Maria, and so Maria takes Ellie to the house, and Ellie showers and she has some clothes for her. And Ellie's like, "Where's my clothes?" She's like, "In the rag pile." Like,
Yeah.
we're getting
We
rid of
burned
that.
them.
Yeah, it's like Kevin's shoes.
Yeah. They were destroyed.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, so they're
um,
getting like a taste
the
of
tour.
yeah, tour, and they're getting a taste of what civilization kind of used to be like: hot water, a meal, um and then that's I guess
This
when she finds out about Sarah.
well, this before that, this led to one of my favorite parts of this episode. They had the um their because he was talking about how he wanted to be a sheep farmer,
Oh
and
yeah.
then they walk in the thing of sheep, and she's like, "Look, Joel," like it starts like laughing, like there's your sheep, right? When
Yeah.
they start talking about like, he's like, "Are you in charge?" And she's like, "Oh, well, I'm on the council, and we're all in charge and make decisions." Um and there, I think Joel's like, "Communism?" And like, yeah, communism. And I was like, yes, communism. And like I was thinking, I was talking to Blanca because like when we have these like deep talk kind of things, and in my perfect world, be like a utopian commune, but you can't scale that, right? So it works. They said they have like 300 people there
Yeah.
in Jackson, J-hole. So you can do communism. It works in small commune. When you do it when you cut communism from big to small and commune, it works, right? It Because you people, someone builds something, someone hunts, someone, you know plants vegetables. You have everybody working together and then provide for each other. And
There's not enough excess for somebody to just sit on their laurels and just be like, I'm
yeah,
not doing that shit. Yeah.
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 But I mean, it doesn't scale in our society for the
No.
most part, I don't think. But it's interesting to see, because it's kind of like, how long would and they don't want anybody to know when outsiders start coming in and then trying to seize power. And that's when you
Yeah.
go from communist to, you know dictatorships and all the kind of stuff. But I thought
Yeah.
it was interesting, because I was like, "Ooh, that's the kind of society that I envision, but that can never work in the U.S."
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I like how Ellie was like, is this how it worked in the rest of the world?
yeah,
And he's like, no, not really.
no,
No.
no, no,
Yeah.
yeah. But that's why I think Joel they lived in Austin before. Like, it was always weird, but you could be uh capitalist and weird.
Yeah. Pretty purple. Yeah. It was pretty purple in
Yeah,
Austin around that time. Yeah.
but
Yeah, so yeah, that's when Ellie finds out about Sarah, Joel's daughter from
mhm,
Maria, because she's got the sign above the fireplace,
yeah,
and she lost a kid, and the other one is Joel's kid. Um, and that's when Joel and Tommy kind of like split off, and he
yeah,
basically tells Tommy, he's like, "Yo, you got to take her. Like, I'm losing my
yeah.
shit. I got to go
I
my own
can't
way."
protect her.
Yeah, and he's having panic attacks and stuff like that. And that's when he tells Tommy that she's immune,
Yeah,
and he's like, "You got to take her because like I can't. It's really important." Um, and I like how Tommy's first thing is like he's gonna run out of the room and be like, "What the fuck?" And Joe's like, Just wait,
yeah,
just wait." Yeah. Um,
yeah. And we find out, that Tommy left because he couldn't deal with all the stuff that they were doing, all
yeah,
the killing and how they survived, right? And
yeah,
we kind of been hinted at that they're not Joel's not a good person. And I mean, the only reason he's taking Ellie basically is for money
yeah,
initially. Now he's turning into a better person. But
yeah,
I think that's where Tommy made the decision. He could live with himself for doing that, wanted to get away from how they were living, right? So,
yeah,
um, but yeah, so finally guilts Tommy into agreeing to take him. And then Ellie's at the movies watching Garfield. Um,
Oh yeah, they were
but
watching. They were watching. I looked it up because I thought I heard an actor. It was Richard Dreyfuss, and it was 1977's The Goodbye Girl. Never seen it. I just knew it was Richard Dreyfuss's voice, and I fucking looked it
I
up.
just heard
Yeah.
Garfield and thought they were talking about Garfield.
Oh no, yeah, it was a movie in the 70s. Crazy.
Oh, okay.
So
But then she hears Tommy and Joel's conversation, and then she was
confronts
like,
Joel. Yeah.
yeah, and Joel's like, like, we're splitting up. We're
Yeah.
breaking up the band.
Yeah.
Uh, you're
I
not
don't
my daughter.
why can't I quit you?
Yeah. Give me back my son. No,
Oh God.
uh,
Throw it back to ransom. That's a good one.
yeah. um, but yeah. So next morning we see Joel has a change of heart, and he's in there
Yep.
getting a horse out of the stable,
Yep.
ready. And so him and Ellie take off on their journey to visit Deion Sanders. And no, he's not at that school, but they're going to
Yeah.
Eastern Colorado,
Yep.
and
Home of the Rams.
home of the Bighorn Rams.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is cool because that's exactly the way it was in the video game. So that was tight.
oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they make their way to Colorado and to the university via horseback. I think they said it took them like 5 days.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love how they're just like walking out. I mean, it is pretty flat out there when like near the highway, and they're just like walking out on the road. No, you go out in the pasture. You don't walk out on the road. I'm just saying.
Yeah. They're just out in the open so much.
Yeah.
But and
Um.
they didn't, I mean, it was interesting because they were like, it's so dangerous to get there, and
Yeah.
then there's no danger on their 5-day journey. Or
Yeah. That wasn't
but I
shit.
mean, you have, I mean, a video game you could play for hundreds and hundreds of hours, right? So you only have 9 hours to tell this story. So
True. Yeah.
you got to yada 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 over some shit.
Right. Yeah, that's when they make it to Colorado, right? And they find, they're going to the university because that's where they think they're working on a vaccine, right? And they see that there's like a Fireflies emblem or logo on the like campus university hospital or whatever. So they start making their way over there, and it's all like vacated. There's nothing left, and they get to the hospital, and there's like shit all over the floor, and obviously like nobody is there.
Well, before even there, we get to see a nice scene from the movie 12 Monkeys.
Brad Pitt's riding by on a horse, like, yeah.
But no, like, have you seen that movie, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah, 12 Monkeys,
I've seen
dude. Hell yeah.
Like a million times. That's one of my favorite movies. And the scene where they show like the above ground, there's like lions and shit roaming around, and after humans had to go underground or whatever.
Yeah.
If that was real, anyway. But yeah,
that was
like
that was a fantastic underrated movie,
dude. That's like, it's almost like Christopher Nolan went into someone's dream and decide. I don't know who came. I have to research now of who wrote and directed and all that, because that's one of those mind fuck movies.
It was so ahead of its
really
time
underrated.
and schizophrenic. It was just Jackson Pollock painting. It was insane. Yeah.
Nowadays, that would be a 10 series TV show.
Oh yeah.
And I think FX made a TV show called 12 Monkeys. I never watched it.
They did. They rebooted
Brad Pitt and Bruce Willis.
Never watched it. Yep. Never watched it.
I think HBO could do something like that and make it.
Oh yeah, make it gritty. Yeah.
But yeah, so they go and they're in the hospital and they think they hear people, but it's really more monkeys. And
yeah, they saw the monkeys on the hill, and so it's like monkeys like going through this room or whatever, and they go
but
in.
It looks like there's been research and development being done, and for some reason have left, and you find a map where it looks like they're plotting to go, and Joel says, oh, maybe they're going before winter where the weather gets bad, but they're going to Utah. Is that what it looked like? Salt Lake City? I
think they're going to Salt Lake City where the weather may be a little bit better. Yeah.
Do they go to Salt Lake City in the game?
I don't remember that part. I don't remember.
Okay.
It seems familiar, but I can't say for sure. Yeah.
Do you know where they go in the game after this place in Colorado? Or is this where they end up?
I don't remember.
What to say. Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah.
And then
my money's on Utah, but yeah.
Well, I don't think we've seen any. Well, we'll talk about it, because I don't think we've seen anything else past like Wyoming and any of the preview stuff.
Nope.
So, in what we saw in Colorado.
Yeah.
But then they see some street toughs outside with baseball bats.
Street toughs.
Yeah.
Some newsies. Yeah. Yeah.
And
yeah, band of raiders. So they're like, oh, let's go out the back. And I love how the back is like much closer to the horse than the way they went into the building. They literally walk out the door and the horse is like right there. Yeah.
No, they press like X, like, or whatever you can do in Red Dead and Zelda to call your horse.
Oh,
like,
totally.
Whistle for your horse, and if he's in range and it comes to you, they whistled and the horse came. And then one of the street toughs swings his bat at Joel, or Ellie's like, Joel, look out, and swings, and then they're fighting, and then Joel snaps his neck, and then he turns around to Ellie, and she's aghast at what happened, and looks and sees. You think she's like freaked out by the neck snapping, but she's not. But by the bottom part of the bat stabbed in his abdomen.
Joel's got like 10 inches of a Louisville slugger like through his fucking spleen. Yeah. Yeah, he's bleeding pretty good.
Yeah. Well, aren't you supposed to keep that in? Like he pulls it out, so blood is rushing in. But I mean, maybe he doesn't know.
As I tell Jackie every time she asks me medical advice, I lost my practice years ago, so don't ask me any medical advice.
I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express last night.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, he like took it out and like he's like bleeding, and so she like finally gets his ass on the horse, and like the rest of the like raiders are like, "Hey, get that guy," and Ellie's just like shooting her gun. And they just can't catch up to him.
And then they're not following us.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God they didn't have horses or a vehicle. Yeah.
Yeah. They just ran. They're just there with their bats. No guns, no horses, no vehicles.
They live peacefully among the monkeys. It's okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's you see them ride off and they make it, a good ways. They make it to like a rail switch or something like that. And that's when Joel like falls off the horse and collapses, and Ellie's just like trying to wake him up. Joel, open your eyes.
I can't do this without you. Joel, open your eyes. Like and episode.
Scene. Yeah. So pretty big cliffhanger.
Huge cliffhanger.
Did you enjoy the episode?
Yeah. I did. It was the first one I've watched like on my phone, so it was hard for me to get. I've been watching them all on the big screen.
Yep.
And this I watched on my phone. I paid attention to it, so it wasn't like I missed anything, but it was it's a little different experience. I like watching it on the big screen, kind of like when I watch Succession and what some of the shows that I try not to watch on my phone just because like it looks so much better.
Oh yeah. It's a big board must watch. Yeah.
So it was good. I think it was one of the weaker ones in the season for me. But
wasn't a lot of meat on it. Yeah.
I mean, it jumped ahead 3 months and then some wonky stuff. But they had to reconnect Tommy and they had to get them out west. So like I said, there's so many hours you can play in a video game, but there's only so many hours you can show on screen. So but it was I liked it. The interesting part is, so just for spoilers, if anybody wants to pause it and jump ahead about a minute, in the what's next or next episode, it looks like we're getting a Ellie flashback to when she was in Fedra boarding school for girls or officer school or whatever. And it looks like we're going to meet another character who I'm guessing Ellie may or may not have killed when she showed her the mall. How a mall works, apparently. But I mean, there are some details. We watched the preview. There's some things the other girl's doing, and so apparently it's Ellie's like friend or best friend. So I think it'll be interesting. Good, maybe bad, I don't know, to get that background. Because we saw some of Joel and Tess's meeting with Bill and Frank and some of that. We don't know much about Ellie, so looks like we're gonna hold dedicated episode to her, which is kind of brave in the end of the season, because if that whole episode is like that, then we only have 8 and 9 left, and we go straight to the penultimate episode. So we're gonna have probably a week or 2 weeks before we find out if Joel is really dead.
Right. It's gonna be a pretty big cliffhanger going into the near finale. Yeah.
It's gonna be Jon Snow. Like, it's gonna come back next season and he's gonna be alive.
Right. See Melisandre just walking off in the distance.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like, what do you think is going to happen when they go back to this storyline? Whether it's sometime next week, next episode, or episode 8.
Yeah, I'll be interested to find out what happens, because I'm trying to rack my brain of what happened in the video game, and I can't remember the end of the game. I mean, I played it to the end, but I think it's a character development episode coming up for Ellie and showing her maturity. And she's already probably killed somebody, probably her friend who was, because this is when they come across the clicker in the mall, and that's I'm assuming that's where she got bit and her friend got bit and she killed her. Probably had to fight her way out of some shit, but it'll be a character development because now Ellie's got to take the lead. Because I think just from the gray area in my mind, thinking back to the video game, I think Joel did get hurt and Ellie had to take the lead for some stuff. So it'll be a little bit of maturity for that, but I'm really interested to see where they take the end of it, because do they go back to J-Hole? Do they go on to Salt Lake City? Like,
that's what I'm wondering is, like, is she going to tie him, like, his feet and, rope to the tail of the horse and drag him back to J-Hole? Yeah. Like, or, I mean, is someone going to come along? My first inclination is Tommy followed them, just to be kind of a backup in case maybe he grabbed some dudes from J-Hole and they're like, hey, my brother's, maybe he told his wife or some people that she may be immune, and now they're going to pull everybody back to J-Hole. And
yep.
But I don't know how they'll. I never got past Boston Museum in the game, so I don't know where we progress. So with maybe a flashback episode and only 2 episodes left,
maybe there's some leftover Fireflies we don't know about. I mean, did all of them leave? I mean, I can't imagine that they're all Raiders there, but I would think somebody comes along, because there's no way she's patching up Joel with all them splinters and shit in his spleen. There's no way.
One of the doctors, like, from the Fireflies, they never made it. They never left. They've been, like, feeding the monkeys, and they hide during the commotion, and then
he's gone full Caesar. Yeah, he's gone full Caesar in Planet of the Apes. He's just rolling the roost. Yeah.
It's like, it was Earth all along.
Yeah. So good. Yeah, it was a good episode. Didn't have a lot of meat on it. It was to progress the story. We knew they weren't going to find it. I mean, let's be honest. We knew they weren't going to find anything in Colorado City or wherever they're at, right? So no surprise there for me. But
it's interesting to see, because, like, you get to Jackson Hole and your brother's there, his wife, they're going to have a kid. They gave you a house. What's the motivation? Well, Joel motivated by money and promised someone that he would get the girl to where she was supposed to go. But you get there, why not just stay there for a while?
Wait for the spring thaw when it's not frozen. Yeah.
I don't know. It would be, you're kind of like, all right, Ellie, we're going to camp. We're going to stay here because, but unless you expect, like, someone will eventually find that and try to take over it. I don't know.
Probably. I mean, somebody finds out that Ellie's immune. Like, that's just, I have the answer. She's immune, blah, blah, blah. And then it turns biblical and apocalyptic and shit.
She's their god now.
Yeah. She's the virgin they have to sacrifice. She's immune. So now we have to kill our only.
Look at it. I'm the captain now.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I mean, eventually, yeah. I mean, if they stay there and it's the summer and she puts on some shorts and they see her bite, and then, yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, what would you do? Would you, like, let's just chill here a while, Ellie, or what?
I mean, if I would have at least tried to go to Colorado, I'd have tried to make it to the uni. And then when that didn't work out, I'd be like, yeah, we're going back. We're gonna rethink our plan. And maybe Salt Lake City has a radio. Maybe Tommy with his radio, we can figure that shit out, right? Why spend another 14 days traveling to Salt Lake City when I could just go back 5 days and make a phone call, basically?
Yeah, and just say, like, hey, I live in, I don't know, Wildwood, New Jersey. Like, just say,
yeah, I was sent by Marlene. What's up?
This is Tommy and J-Hole. What? J-Hole's an outfit?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Hey, caller,
I know.
where you
Yeah.
calling from? Hey, 96 or WBE 610. Where are you calling from? Hey, this is Tommy from J-Hole.
Yeah, yeah. Froggy 99.1. Yeah.
Froggy.
Oh god. Not for real though, yeah. That's what I would have done, but looking forward to the rest of the season. I mean, they'll do the Ellie thing. But kudos to the show because they are bringing some like real life like post-apocalyptic shit like like they're eating canned food like or what they catch and then they get to J-Hole and they're like, "Oh, have a plate with some silverware and shit. You don't have to eat like Neanderthals." And then what was it? Maria gave her, I'm not even gonna pretend to know what that thing was that she gave her, like female hygiene product of some kind, but
I'm thinking it was like what's a Seinfeld episode where Elaine gets all those what are those called? What are they
sponges.
called? Oh, it's sponges. It's some kind of like
Yeah.
female contraceptive
Yeah.
device.
Yeah.
And apparently, because in J-Hole, shit's popping off for even the teenage girls. Because when there's no zombies to worry about, everybody's fucking. I guess I don't know. And we see
Yeah.
Tommy knocked up the congresswoman,
State senator.
state senator, the
Yeah.
communist lead, one of the communist leaders.
Yeah, he's knocked up the party. Yeah, the party leader, and now he's he's in deep with the party. So there's no going back now. Yeah, I honestly thought Tommy was going to betray them. Just between us, but
he doesn't have to wait in the bread lines anymore.
Yeah, so. He's getting bread brought to him, man. Yeah. But yeah, it's a good thing to show. It's a great point to think about. There's not a lot of leftover contraceptive items, so that's an interesting take on it. I didn't even think about that. Wow. But
yeah,
bringing some realism to the show. Kudos.
Yeah. So. Yeah, good stuff. I'm excited to see what's going to happen over the last 3 episodes. So,
yep.
Anything else for you?
Nah, nothing on my side, man. You good on your side?
Yeah, just little housekeeping. So next week, probably by the time we record, we may have watched The Mandalorian. I think it comes out March 1st, which I'm assuming is Wednesday. So
I think it is. Yeah.
Next week, we'll probably be talking about Last of Us episode 7 and Mandalorian season 3, episode 1. So go back and watch seasons 1 and 2, and then you can watch it on Wednesday, and we'll probably talk about it, and you can hear our take on a Friday.
Yep.
So,
and for the next episode, I'll be bringing in some stand-up critique. Going to see Taylor Tomlinson at the Cullen Performance Hall on U of H. Really big blown up comic stand-up. So yeah, Cougs. So looking forward to that. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, she's funny. Good Netflix specials if you haven't checked her out.
Yeah.
So lots of stuff out there to watch. So watch everything.
Yep. We'll be talking about all the stuff coming in March, so be sure to tune in for those things. Stay up to date. You can always find us on Google Pod, Apple Pod. You know where we're at. Tell everybody about us. We got the Instagrams up. Chuck's not doing Twitter, but I'll take over the Twitter for our account.
Oh yeah, you need to start posting because I'm not doing Twitter for 40 days.
Yeah. So the next 40 days you'll have MC Mike taking over the Twitter. Definitely going to be some Interstellar references on there. So look forward to that. Check out our blog. Chuck's put up a post. I'm working on a post this weekend. We're going to talk cinematography. We're going to talk Succession. So look forward to that. Spread the word. You can check out our website, kickitmedia.com. You can always email us, canwekickitpod1@gmail.com. But every weekend we end the same way.